Well, thanks for having me here tonight. Well, my name is Ricardo, and I will talk about some works in wearable technology that I like, and some works are from mine, and some are from other artists as well. And yeah, so let's start. Transforming what if into wearable future. So this first image that you see here, there's the one on the right I found on Wikipedia. It's supposed to be the first glass made, and the other one is obviously the Google Glass, the famous Google Glass. And as you can see, in terms of design, there's not much difference between the two. They look alike, I think. The big difference here is that one of them became a little bit smarter, in this case of the Google Glass. So when we talk about wearable technology, we talk about integration of electronics on clothes. Here, for instance, you have the image of this guy wearing this jacket. It's the Luma Live from Philips. I don't know if you know this project. Some time ago, they tried to integrate LEDs on fabric and sell this as a product called Luma Live. It was a big flop, didn't work out. You see on the top a glove. Actually, this one made by Hannah. She did this glove, Hannah Wilson. I think she talked here already.
She talked 2 years ago.
Yeah. So she's like a great enthusiast of wearable tech. And she has a more do-it-yourself approach to it. And on the other image, you see some LEDs integrated on fabric as well. And nowadays, lots of electronics are being released, having wearable as a main topic. So you see here this Android Wear, this platform for smartphones from Android that you can program yourself. It's still very on the beginning, and it's very similar like programming for cell phone applications, so the SDK is very similar. You have on the top left some lily pad things. Do you know what lily pad is? No?
Some
does. So everyone here knows what Arduino is? No? Yeah, well, LilyPad is a sort of Arduino, which is a microcontroller, which is like a small computer, so to say. And the LilyPad, the difference is that it has a different design with big holes, so you can use conductive thread and sew the connections. So instead of soldering wires, you're gonna sew it using conductive thread. So, and this turned wearable technology, or turned the possibility to make an interactive garment so much easier than before, because you have already these physical connections already done. So it became very easy. And on the bottom you have the brand new Intel Edison, which is a computer. Actually, it's a fully working computer in this size. They compare the processing power of a 386. Probably you guys don't remember 386. Only old people do. But well, it was like a computer before Pentium, and but now it's this size. You know, it's a little bit bigger than an SD card. So it's very small. So it can be easily embedded in clothes or in the Internet of Things. Embedded in chairs, in the microphones, sofas, and nowadays we have all of this out of the shelf components that we can use in our wearable projects. And all of this mainly is used to create products towards efficiency. So you should train your body as its best. And sport is a big field in wearable technology, because you can have like sensors really close to your body, so you can measure your body activity, you can measure if your muscle is stressed. You can measure your heartbeat. You can measure if you're getting dehydrated. And then you have these products like this one, for instance.
Presenting the next evolution of wearable technology. Do you know your true strength, speed, power? Imagine your body's full potential.
Your breathing is shallow. Breathe deeper.
What are your limits? How do you measure up? We believe that knowledge is power.
Your heart rate is below target zone.
We believe you need to know to grow.
Push harder.
Introducing the Polo Tech Shirt, designed to help you lead a healthier, more informed life
Your workout is complete.
by providing comprehensive biometric data in real time directly to your phone or tablet. The future of fashion and technology. From Polo Ralph Lauren.
So you see a big brand, Polo Ralph Lauren, they advertise this, and it's funny to notice how they advertise, how the marketing is made, like you have this voice, like the future, and how amazing it is. And but anyways, so here you have like this T-shirt connected to your phone that analyze all the movements that you make while you're training, so you can really have like after you train a total report, how was it? So you can train it better next time. You can learn faster. So here there's another product towards learning.
In golf, it's not just about practice. Whether you're Graham McDowell, Lee Westwood, or a weekend warrior, improvement comes from knowing your game. Introducing Game Golf. With a simple tag, our system captures your round. It captures your scores, trends, and statistics, and allows you to compare them to the best golfers around the world. Driving distances, greens and regulation, club performance. Game analyzes every stroke you take, so you can share your rounds, compete with your friends, and track your performance. Simply tag and go. Game records your club choice and location on the course, leaving you to focus on your play. Every shot, every hole, every round, captured automatically. All you'll need to think about is your game. Start measuring your game at GameGolf.com.
You see, you can play golf better and learn it how to play it even faster. You can, there are devices that for you to sleep better. There's this one from Misfit. It's called Bedded, which is this sort of a belt that you put on your bed, and then it monitors your sleeping. So if you move too much and if you're breathing well, and then on the beginning of on the morning, you have like all the report how was your sleep. It's amazing those things, isn't it? It's lots of technology, lots of investments and research, and yeah, it's very nice. The golf, you say that you can share on internet, on Facebook to your friends how many holes you were able to do and where you're playing, as if someone cares, like actually no one really cares, and so you have all these things about efficiency, right? Having people saying that you could do it better, you could do it faster, you could do it more efficiency, and I think this is very annoying. It's amazing in a way because there's all this technology. It's super cool that you can sense all these things, and we get to know things about our body that we didn't know before. When you're running, you didn't know that your heartbeat was 180, and that you're about to have a heart attack. So this is very important. But what I wanted to show you here, it's also wearable projects that goes a little bit far from this trend, this efficiency trend that I showed here. and propose more. It's more a critique or a comment of our times. It's something maybe a little bit more poetic, way more unuseful, but in my opinion more interesting. But this is my personal opinion. You don't have to take as truth. It's just what I think. So the first project that I want to show is a project of mine that I did together with Thiago Martins when we were students at Uni. I studied there. So we did this project. Project, as you could see, it senses your steps and tweets every single step you take. So every time we turn on this, we lose lots of followers because you get just a wave of the step. And this started as a sort of, we did this in 2008. It was, at least for me, it was the beginning of Twitter, like this trend. And then we just opened an account, me and Thiago, to check what the hell was that. And then we see people sharing information and stuff that we didn't really were interesting, you know, like, oh, I'm going to this place and to that place. So we are not caring, and then we thought, what would be the most unuseful information ever that you could post, and then we came up with this idea to post every single step. And it's an endless source of jokes as well, because you can see you have to take literally to tweet it to the next step. So anyways, we did this project as a critic. It was very successful. We went to several exhibitions, we got some prizes with it, we presented Transmediale and Ars Electronic as well. So yeah, it was very nice. And this was like way before like running shoes, this Nike Plus. That was, it came like 2 years later. We programmed this in Python, so it was like Nokia phones and old stuff. This is another project. It's called Record Sound Shoes that I did for an exhibition at MAC in Wien 2 years ago. I will show just a little piece of the movie. So yeah, actually this was a collaboration. This I did with my studio. I have a studio called Opkala, where we develop wearable concepts for brands. And this one we worked in collaboration with a brand called Glass. They are in Berlin, they're based in Berlin in Paris. But actually they are from Vienna. Like the two founders, they studied at the Applied Arts University in Vienna. Anyways, so they have this brand Glass. And so we did this piece together, which is a shoe. As you can see, these are the electronics inside the shoe. So what it does, when you walk, the shoe detects that you're walking and it starts to record the sounds of your steps. And as soon as we stop, the shoe plays back what was recorded. So you have the sound like tap of your steps, and when we stop, you keep listening this. So this creates a sort of a confusion in your head because we stop, but you sound like we're still walking. So that's what we wanted to achieve in this exhibition. This exhibition was all about a concept called sound perfume that we came up with, which was to treat sound as if it was a perfume. Like for example, every day, like this is another piece that I will show right now, it's called Architect's Car from the same exhibition. So we had this idea, like because every day in the morning you wake up and you can choose a different perfume. So today I want to smell like a patchouli, I want to smell like a musk, you know, you can choose the scent you like the most. But you always sound the same. You cannot choose how you sound. So then we make this scarf that has different fasteners. So there's a music going on there, and each fastener is from a different instrument from this piece. So one is the violin, another one is the piano, another one is the drum. And then one day, like in the morning, you say like, today I feel like sound like a piano. And then you just close the piano, and then you have this like little piano sound around during the day, as if it was a perfume. The sound comes from the buttons. You just 3D print the buttons and put a little speaker inside there. So it's fully integrated in the garment. And and then with this you can choose how you want to sound. And you could eventually change the sound. One day you feel more rock and roll. You want to sound like a guitar, or you want to sound like a drum. So it gives you another possibility of expression through sound and the way you wear the clothes. And this piece that you're hearing is a piece that you see here that I'm opening the fasteners and the sounds are finishing. This is a project called Decelerator Helmet. I don't know if you guys know this project from Lorenzo.
The decelerator filters the technically reproducible senses and reproduces the environmental impressions in its inside in a decelerated way. A slow motion for real life.
So it goes on and on. I will talk over it, otherwise it gets boring. So we have this helmet, this brilliant helmet, and then you put it, and then you can control if you can see in slow motion or fast forward. So basically, it totally changes your perception of the world, because you of course walk normally, but you can the thing you see inside this helmet can be in delay, so it doesn't correspond to the reality. Actually, it's pretty dangerous to wear this and go out on the street, because you could not cross any street. And you see how he did. It was not me, it was Lorenzo who did this. He put a laptop inside this big helmet, and he had a brilliant solution. You know VLC, the player? He just used the VLC player and a webcam, and this thing you control, the webcam records, and the VLC control if you make in slow motion, just can control how many frames per second you should display. So it's super easy, there's not even much code involved in this, it's very easy. And another thing that's very nice, this is a story that he told me, that some people went to buy some of this, like, really rich oil people, they asked him because they wanted to give this as a gift for people who watch race cars, because the cars go so fast. So with this helmet they could really enjoy the car going slow, you know, and have this and the thing. And he was not very interested in making money with this. He could though, but he didn't want. And lots of people started asking him to how can I buy? And so he decided to put on his website a recipe of how to make your own. So if you go to his website, there's a tutorial with everything. So you could make your own decelerator helmet, which was very generous of him to make it. He's just graduated, he lives in Leipzig, I think. It's not so far from here. And yeah, very brilliant. So I really enjoyed this kind of projects that use wearables to change perception, to change the way that you perceive the world. Because with the sensors and so close to the body, and you can put actuators also very close to the bodies, so you can create new types of perceptions. Because, for example, we have our vision, but we are limited also of a certain spectrum, right? And then you have like other animals that they can see, like I think snakes, they see a much broader spectrum. Or you have like bats that use sonic frequencies to navigate, so they have other type of senses. And with wearable technology, you are able to create little devices to add the senses to our body as well. And this is pretty great because you can totally open up the way you perceive the world and the way you interact with the world. So this could be very powerful if you use it in a clever way to change our perception of the, what's it called, the German word? No. Umwelt. Yeah, right? That's the reality, no? The environment. The environment, yeah, the way we perceive the Umwelt. What else? Yeah, this is another project that I did with Blue Pulpa, who also spoke here. Okay. So this was my first wearable project ever. It was in 2006, and it's a head. It detects cell phone frequencies. So every time there's a cell phone frequencies going on, you make a call or receive a call, the head goes up like sort of a signalize that some electric magnetic activity going on in that space. So this was more a visualization tool. We wanted to create a visualization of invisible landscape, which is like all the signals, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth that we have here around, and still no one knows if it's like if it has any harm for our health or not. So it's still a topic to take care. And with wearable technology even more, because now everything is going Bluetooth, everything is going wireless, and all this electronic pollution it's going higher and higher and higher, and it's, yeah, it could be a bit scary. I don't know, I mean, I don't want to scare anyone, but it's a point that you have to take into consideration. For example, when Intel released the Intel Edson, they made it's a sort of a quote for a baby. So we would monitor the baby if it's if the baby is alive, if it's breathing, and we sell the data to the mom, but wirelessly using Bluetooth, which is great. I mean, can give peace to the mother to be in another room knowing that the baby is doing good. But on the other hand, you have all this wireless communication in the poor baby that I know, you know. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't put it my baby if I have this. I think it's a bit scary. But anyway, so we did this project. This was in 2000. And then we took the same idea and we transferred to architecture, to the space. And then we made this installation that's called Feather Tails. And we called it Feather Tails first because the feather is a sort of antenna by itself because of its shapes. And tails because when the feather moves, you know there's some type of dialogue, there's some type of communication going on because there's an antenna that intercepts like radio frequencies, Bluetooth frequencies, Wi-Fi frequencies, certain range of waves. So you know there's some communication going on, but you still don't know what this communication is about. Just know that there's a communication going on. So that's why we call it Feather Tails. And this was a commission from Laboral, it's an museum in Gijón, in Spain. So yeah, I put here the presentation because there's this theory of the skins, the 5 skins, which is our body, our skin, the first skin, our clothes, our second skin, our house, the third is skin. And then the environment, the 4th skin, and identity, the 5th skin. So we have these 5 skins going on. And so this was this is a theory actually from an Austrian architect called Wasser. Do you know this guy? He's very famous, right? Yeah. And he came up with this idea of the skins, and I found it brilliant because it's really true, right? Because with wearable tech, what we are doing, we are trying to mimic skin reactions on clothes, like with this horripilation. This, like when we get excited or when we are cold, it gets horripilated. So we are trying to mimic this on a building, so like transposing like human biologic reactions to buildings, to clothes. And the same thing goes with this project here. It's called Untangle. This I did in collaboration with Django, which is a Dutch fashion designer. And what we wanted to mimic an animal reaction on the dress. So we made this dress. It was exhibited at the Museum Quartier in Vienna. And when you approach the dress and you grab the brush, the dress gets excited and starts to move like if it was like a dog, like moving his tail when you pet him. So we were trying to give also like an animal behavior to the dress. And I find this kind of funny. Yeah, it's the same thing, like the feathered tails look like maybe birds because of feathers, and this one you have this little happy hula hula type of dress. I find very funny. People like a lot in the exhibition. Everything that relates to humanize technology, to turn technology more human by putting simple behaviors like this, just moving a little bit, it really creates a strong connection with people. Like for example, I have this sofa here. If I put 2 little eyes here, it's not a sofa anymore. It's a character. So, and this can be very powerful if you want to make a piece to communicate with people. I'm almost done. I'm not sure what it is. Yeah. This is my last. It's not my last piece. One of my last pieces called wearable narratives, and it works on the same way as orchestras carve using buttons, but in this way to tell a story. So I record the story in audio, and then by closing and opening the buttons, you explore the story, and then you listen part of the story. So the idea that you get this cape, and then you go to a place, put the hood. Inside the hood, there's a speaker, a flexible speaker. So you can close a button, then you listen a little bit, and then close another button, and you also can make combinations of opening and closing. So it opens up like lots of possibilities for storytelling, because you can give the escape, you can combine the escape with a book where you read a little bit and then you put the escape. Yeah, and the functioning is pretty simple, because you have these buttons, and I use conductive thread to sew the buttons and the button hole, and when there is connection, I trigger the audio. That's it. Super simple. Okay, well, so thanks for having me, thanks for being here, and if you have any questions, I'm here to reply.